We were a little bit off
Sweet.
sync there.
Do you reckon? Oh, it is a bit actually. Try again.
Well, no, because it doesn't matter. Like, it's the first one I hear that I follow it to.
So it doesn't even matter which one of us
I'm
does
just
it.
disappointed that you weren't able. Like, I can just follow my clap sync. I'm just disappointed in your clap sync.
I'm upset right now.
Yeah, well, anyway, welcome back to
TAE Time Podcast.
You know, we're out here again.
Guys, if you're watching, can you see this beautiful piece of artwork that has been gifted to us by Emily O'Callaghan?
Yo.
Shout out to you.
Shout out.
Beautiful, beautiful work. So, thank you.
Thank you. Really appreciate it. And if you're wondering, there's like two things. You're like, two things are a little bit spotty. One, yes, Nicoletta is raggedy ass wearing the top I was wearing the last episode because she doesn't have her own clothes.
You were wearing
She's
this.
wearing my clothes all the time.
I didn't know. If I known, I wouldn't have worn this. It has like a little stain on it as well. It looks like
because it was
something completely different.
Yeah, Nicoletta did that. It wasn't me anyway. So I'll have you know. But also at the same time, the setup might look a little different to you if you noticed the last time, because I'm gonna start this episode with this because it was a struggle. It was a battle. I'll tell you right now. We were meant to record this episode, God knows, like 2 days ago, right? And I come back like normal. I had the like dongle that I gave Nicoletta to record, and we tried.
What's a dongle?
It's like an adapter. Sorry, is what I meant.
Dongle.
Yeah, dongle. The adapter, you know, to plug all the mics in and do all that. But lo and behold, I plug it in, it doesn't work. And I'm like out here trying to figure out, what is it? Is it the mics? I was like shitting myself. I was like, my God, is the mics broken? I just bought, like, these are like $100 each. Each of these mics.
$100. Sorry, I'm here for the effects in the background, so don't mind me.
You know, so I was like, oh my God, like these are like $100. They can't be broken already. Trying to do all this, I was like, okay, maybe it's GarageBand. No, maybe it's the adapter. What is it? What could it be?
GarageBand being,
you know, the app we're using to record our audio here. And I was like, oh my God. And also GarageBand on that day was lagging. Like, it was really lagging. I was like, oh my God, what's going on? So then we decided to...
You're a little crusty.
Oh my God. Do you see the way she's reaching? Like, sorry, if you're hearing the audio, you can't tell, but Nicola just reached over to my face to clean my face because I was looking a bit crusty.
You had a bit of crust.
A bit of crust. Anyway, back to my story. What happened is, like, I'm out here trying to figure it out. We get to the next day. It's like 10 p.m. I'm like, all right, screw this, we'll do it the next day. And so eventually the next day, trying to figure out, you know, me with my software engineering skills, you know, because obviously if you're a software engineer, you're a tech guy. You can automatically fix any technical solutions, but that's not how it works anyway.
I can confirm that is how it works.
No.
Every problem I've had, you fixed it.
It's just because my pride is on the line. That's the thing. Like, because you did computer science or software engineering or whatever you are, because your pride is on the line, you just figure it out because you're like, fuck, I look dumb. Even though that's not what I was literally taught in school, but you know, whatever. But yeah, no. So I was figuring out. More of the story is I had to drive to my mate's house. Shout out Pula again. Man, you got a shout out two episodes in a row.
What was the first one?
I don't remember, but I shouted him out. He sent me a snap going like, "Oh yeah, look."
He watched it. Oh my God, does he watch our podcast?
Yeah, he did. And so I was like,
shout out.
Damn. But yeah, shout out Pula. He gave me this other adapter, and I was able to jimmy rig it to like get it to work, and now here we are back in the podcast. I know that was a complete waste of your intro time, but you know what? I don't care. It's my podcast. It's our podcast. We can do whatever the hell we want to do.
You're ruining
talk
it.
about whatever the hell we want to talk about. I don't give
a fuck. Beautiful. Can I pick up my mic?
I'll beat you. Nah, I'm joking. I do not hit women. Please. Don't arrest me. But no, Nicoletta. So last time in the episode, you guys didn't hear it because, you know, I was editing out. When she picked up her mic, she was like fucking attacking the mic, and then I had to like literally mute her entire audio channel. That's the beauty of having two mics, because if it was one audio channel, I wouldn't have been able to do that. But she was attacking it, you know, trying to get it out, and then all you hear is and all the other sounds, you know. And I was like, oh my God, look at this.
That is very embarrassing right now.
But if you do want to pick up your mic, you can. I'll let you pick up your mic.
Oh, will you? Here we go again.
Yeah, you see, that's me trying to now remove all the audio struggles of Nicoletta.
But no, because listen.
You know?
Shut up.
So lots of blank audio over there. Don't worry. Post credit, Farouk will sort that out. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's because I feel like if it's up there, I have to like bend my neck funny or something.
Imagine being short and not being able to project your voice.
No, because you can lift these up, can't you? You can make them taller.
Yeah, well, these ones stay at the same height, but we can get the little like adapter ones if you want, you know, like the ones that you can wivel, but you're paying for that.
I'm not paying for nothing
Business
because I
expense.
like holding it because I move around a lot. I feel like
Then it's just so much fun for me then when I'm editing, you know, because I have to keep putting her audio up and down to
like
be consistent the entire time.
I know, and then like my heavy breathing.
Yeah, heavy breathing.
That's
also
also
cut
funny.
that out as well.
Also, guys, if you catch a glimpse of any of my lower half in this episode, I am wearing pajamas.
Yeah. That's what we do. We do episodes in our PJs, comfortable.
Yeah, that's the whole point of our podcast.
You know, we come
create
here TAE time. It's literally TAE time, you know.
Chill back, relax, and enjoy. Do you want for the next episode we should have our cups? Because also Emily hooked us up with these really cute mugs for both of us.
Shout out Emily.
Yeah, for a little podcast.
You know, she out here.
I need to stop saying podcast like podcast.
It's a podcast.
But it's ingrained in my brain. Podcast.
No.
It's because I listened to Stephen Bartlett. Stephen Bartlett.
That was very shabby of her, not gonna lie. But it is what it is.
Steven.
So what's on the menu today?
I'm on the menu.
Oh, say less. But no. So
no. Well, unless no, I'm just kidding. On the menu today. So topic of the day. I guess we didn't want to like pick a topic in our own personal lives, and we really like the Am I the Asshole stories, relationship advice stories, and everything else on Reddit. So
Reddit. Shout out Reddit.
Yeah, like it's such a good form of entertainment.
Let it be known, I put Nicola on Reddit. I've been on
Way
Reddit since
back.
I was
yeah.
baby, and I put her on Reddit.
But you put me on it like way back, like way before it was popular.
Yeah, like nowadays, we talked about this before in like an episode. Now you see all the Reddit stories on like TikTok and Twitter and all these things. But like, you know, I've been out here. We've been out here on Reddit. We're OGs, man.
We did it
to be honest. And I think I'm on like my second or third Reddit account. I had the original Reddit account, which had like a bunch of karma, but then I created a second one for just lurking. If you know, you know. And so like it has no karma, no nothing. Like, but
what was the karma for? What did you do? What did you post?
I don't post.
Was that your feet? Did you post feet?
Yeah, I
feet
posted
pics?
so much feet pics. Just watch out for Fruit's OnlyFans. Only feet.
Only feet.
Only feet.
Because Frug.
Yeah. Oh God, it was a terrible joke. I actually feel
it
so
wasn't
bad
even
for
a
you.
joke.
It was not good.
I just buffered IRL.
Terrible pun.
I buffered. But yeah, so I think actually a couple of months ago, I was scrolling through TikTok, you know, and I just stopped getting this feeling of enjoyment and satisfaction being on the app. It was like I wasn't fulfilled, you know, being on the app. And I was like, I am learning stuff because TikTok is always like new things and like news, and it can be whatever you want in your algorithm, like your FYP's your FYP. But I just wasn't getting that fulfillment anymore. And I was like, oh my God, I need another app because obviously I was ticking, like my short attention span was not having it. And I was like, I need another app.
Because you have a short attention span, but then you went to a place where you have to read.
It was crazy. It didn't even make sense to me, you know, but it wasn't getting that fulfillment, you know. So I was like, oh my God, my Reddit app, I haven't touched it since like we did our last podcast about it. And even then when I did, I was going on it just to like find stories for our podcast. It wasn't like just going to go myself.
Yeah.
So I picked it back up a couple of months ago and I was like, oh my God, why have I left this? Like, it was just so much fun. So since then we've been kind of like, well, I've been saving some stories and things like that we can bring to life here. So I'm gonna pull up.
Yeah, shout out Reddit, because if you want a little, you know, sponsorship deal with a small little podcast family, we're here, you know, just saying.
Family.
Just a little family, just saying, you know. Reddit, you know, feel free to sponsor us.
Right. So here's the first story, okay? I'm not the new thing we're gonna do is not read the titles, because I feel like that gives away a good bit of the story, and also if Rook hasn't seen these, it's nicer to see his first reaction, okay?
True.
Do you want to split these up? Do you want to read some? Will I read some?
No, feel free. You can just read them all, so I can just listen and then give a response.
Thank you. Okay, so from the Off My Chest subreddit, we have, I caught my boyfriend of 4 years cheating.
Ooh, saucy, because it's not so little years that it doesn't matter, you know, but it's also not so long that's that ultra deep, you know.
Yeah.
So it's like a nice middle ground.
So Here's what they say. I'm heartbroken. The man I want to marry and have a future with slept with another woman. I found their texts when I was setting up his work alarms on his phone. I saw their sex. I'm nauseated by them. The worst part is that I don't want to break up with him. I love him so much that I don't want to lose him. I feel as if I've invested too much time and effort to just give up. I'm so scared. I don't know what to do. I don't have anyone to talk to about it. I never thought he would be capable of hurting me like this. I've won our game of who loves the other person more. This hurts so much.
Holy crap. Well, you see, that's a sticky one still. You have to think about this here. Like, the situation ends up being like, hey, you're with this person, quote unquote, for 4 years. They cheat on you. And it wasn't like a casual, as I've coined the term with my mates and with Nicoletta, a moment of weakness. It's not like a moment of weakness where it's like you sleep with this girl for one night or something, or you kiss this girl or whatever it is. You know, it's not like a slip up.
You're out in a club drunk.
Like, you know, it's not a moment of weakness. This is like, I was talking to this girl. We were exchanging texts. We were sexting. You know, like that's then involves emotional cheating too. You know, you have both physical and emotional cheating. That's a double whammy. That's a hard one to come by. You know, that's like, how do you survive that? Like, you know, like how do you come back from that? Because like you confront them, right? They're hopefully gonna feel remorse. Like it's kind of like one of those things. Like, because there are situations where it happens where it's like, you know, it hits them. It's only when it's called out to them that they're like, oh my God, I've been doing this, you know? Like, it's kind of like they've been phased. You know?
Oh, come on. Don't even try. No. This is not one of those like, oh, you know, I didn't realize I was sexting this person and it was wrong.
Not like that. No, not as in like it was wrong. As in like the reality of what they were doing didn't hit them until you call it out. And then the moment they hit someone and want to go, they're like, oh my God, actually.
So it's, no, because what this is telling me is it's like, oh, I'm not sorry for what I did. I'm sorry that I got caught.
Yes, it does give that. But at the same time, you make them realize whatever. Like, I'm not saying this is happening. What I'm saying is like they get in a situation where they're like, yo, remorseful, blah, de, blah, de, blah, de, blah, remorseful. And then they cut it out, right? And then they're like, never again. And then they actually change for the better and they never ever do that shit again. And then you're together. That's the best case scenario she can hope for. That's the best case scenario.
So I think she should leave.
But that's not going to happen.
I 100% think she should leave. Yeah. Obviously talk to him about it because like she just saw through the text, so she can assume whatever. There's obviously, it's hard to be like, don't assume things, but like there's sexting there. Like it's hard to.
The question though I'm really asking is, if she saw the sex, that means it was like on like iMessage or WhatsApp or something.
Do you know?
It wasn't like Snapchat. Like
oh my God, she didn't have to snoop.
Messenger or something.
I'm sorry, but like she didn't have to snoop
all those
at
receipts
all.
were right there.
Because he was like, set my alarms for me. So he was letting her, like willingly letting her go through his phone.
Maybe that was his plan. And then she'd get mad and she'd leave and then he can go to this other woman.
Oh my God, do you know what?
That'd be big brain.
Because like they've been dating for 4 years and he doesn't want to look like he cut things off, even though he did. But like
it could be big. That could be super big brain.
Imagine.
You know, like he's like, she's gonna see it, blah blah blah. You know, maybe that's why he didn't use Snapchat. You know, that's why he used like Messenger, WhatsApp, whatever.
Okay, well, we're not giving any relationship advice here. So okay, what should she do in this scenario? Yeah, but like talk about it. Obviously,
like the real advice to give in this scenario is confront them, and then based off the response they give you, based off how sincere you think they're feeling, you then make your decision as to whether because she clearly loves him. So it's a question of if she's willing to forgive him and try move forward, or if she thinks it's something that it's unforgivable, she can't move forward, and then they have to break up. But there is a world here where you guys can actually stay together, like. But you have to make goddamn sure you never mess up like that again. Gotta be extra nice for the next remaining of your years, because that's never gonna. She'll be like, remember that time when you were cheating on me, sexting a bitch?
as she should be, even though like I don't think she should stay. It's just so shady and like weird. I don't know, because I don't know. Like, come on, you know that these things are wrong to do. So I feel like would you not just fess off, just be like, I want to leave. But I think like some advice for her. 4 years. What was it that who was saying this? It's like
boss, it's a sucking cost. It's a
Yeah,
sunk cost.
that's it. That's
Yeah.
it. Like, at the end of the day, 4 years have passed. They've passed. They're in the past. So, like, you know, don't depend. First of all, don't depend for another person for your happiness. That's the main thing.
Yeah.
It's not the end of the world. Like, 100%. 4 years, like, it's not even that long, really. You have.
It's long, but not long. It's like a
Yeah.
college course.
Yeah, exactly. But, like, how many people do a college course just to go back to college because they hated it? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
It's like
It's
everything
not
is
the-
possible.
It's not the worst thing.
It's really not. And I think, you know, she's clearly very, very hurt, she did say. But it, like, and I know it's hard because they're at an age where, like, you know, they're ready for marriage, ready for kids and all these things, and it's upsetting because this is the time in their life that's meant to be exciting. This is when, you know, this is when they're meant to go traveling or, like, get married, go on a honeymoon, like, la-di-da-di-da-da. But he's just doing this, and that's really upsetting.
Yeah, but once again, all she can do is confront him, talk about it, and then make your decision on the spot. Flip a coin if you need to.
Flip a coin.
Flip a coin if you need to. Let it decide your fate, because in the end of the day, it's 50-50 anyway.
Yeah, it's upsetting. I don't know. I think emotional cheating is, like, probably a lot worse than physical anyway.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
Emotional cheating is definitely worse than physical cheating.
that's
Physical cheating you can get over. Emotional cheating, it's a different story.
So in Too Afraid to Ask, we have a guy asking a simple question.
Okay. What is
Okay,
it?
so this is a simple question for you. Okay, should be short, straight to the point. Okay, he's looking for tips. Every time I meet a girl in public and we touch, I get a boner. It's fucking
I'm sorry
difficult.
to laugh at your pain. I'm sorry.
It's fucking difficult to do any activity with her besides sitting. And the worst part is, she enjoys holding hands and taking long walks together. It's been 6 months already. Her being really pretty just adds to my suffering. She doesn't have any clue, and I'd like to keep it that way. I'm afraid she'll find out if this goes any longer. So please, people, help me.
Okay. Before I even go on, this is a great place to put, like, you know, if any of you know that clip from TikTok or from wherever of, like, I can't remember, I think it's Denzel Washington, and then it's like in a movie and he's like, that brother's starving. That brother's starving. No, man, that's wild. No, definitely. It's a hard scenario. I think, bro, like, I think you have to get used to this girl. Honestly, I don't think it's either a situation where you have to get used to that knowing that this is going to be your time.
Faith.
It's going to be your faith. Like, eventually you're going to hopefully, you know, get over it. But either way, this is the most you can do. You just have to do it, hide it, you know, keep it in your pants, literally. And just hope to God that even if she does find out, she thinks it's cute, you know, shakshi maybe.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean,
not that she's like, oh, creepy. Like, that's the worst case scenario. Best case scenario, she's like, oh, that's cute that you like me that much, you know. So, but obviously at the time, if she does find out, you tell her that it's only her and never every other girl.
Yeah.
Because then she's like,
I think it is just her.
yeah.
But they sound quite young. He sounds quite young.
Yeah.
From this.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd
And
say
it's been a
like,
couple of months, so
yeah, like, it's definitely like a young lad. I would be surprised if this was like some 20-something-year-old man. Then I would be like, that brother stop.
hey, he didn't disclose his age. What if that is it? But some actual advice given from people, right, is long shirts, jackets are your friend, I guess. Someone else said, let me change your life. Flex. When you get a boner, flex and hold inconspicuous muscle group. Pretend you're stretching your back, need to stretch a leg. Instant boner killer because your body pulls blood to the other muscle groups. Is this true?
I think that is the, like, advice they give you. Like, if if you stretch, like, one thing I know is, like, doing this, like, kind of like opening out your hand and then closing your hand over and over again. That, like, helps, like, rush blood over there and stuff like that. So, like, stretching would probably be also another thing. Yeah,
Well, that's fair
that's
enough.
really good advice then.
Yeah, I was just reading out 2 of them. But yeah, this is this guy. So cute.
Painful.
Very cute.
Number the stall.
From Am I the Asshole for our next story. This is a good one. I'm not going to read the title. Just going to jump into it. Okay. I cannot believe there's a split opinion for this at my office, but here we go. A coworker of mine, 39 female, recently had twin boys after a long battle with infertility. She has made her first appearance into the office with her new babies to introduce them to our team. When asked what she had named the boys, as up until this appearance she was undecided, she told me that she was naming them Sean. When I asked about the other baby, she said, no, they're both Sean, one with an A and one with an E. So Sean and Seen, but Sean.
Oh, the Irish way, like S-E-A-N.
S-E-E-N.
Yeah,
Seen, but Sean?
Okay.
Okay. This co-worker's last name is also Sean. When I pointed this out, she said, yes, like Tom Tom or JJ. I immediately and without thinking said, that is the most idiotic thing I've ever heard.
That was a dangerous thing to say at work, but okay.
And it's going to be confusing. A bunch of people laughed and a bunch of people immediately looked away. After she left, I got a few text messages saying it's not my place to comment on people's choice of name. Am I the asshole for saying that this is a terrible naming idea?
Yeah, you are, because you're not meant to say that to the person's face in a work setting. So you're definitely the asshole for that. But you are not wrong that was an absolutely ludicrously idiotic naming choice. Seen and Sean, stop this.
No, it's Sean.
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 Yeah, no, ludicrous names. Stupid, idiotic. Some people shouldn't have kids, and get the right to name them. But for real, you're the asshole because that was not the scenario to say it in. Like, if you were a close friend behind closed doors, different story. If you are a co-worker in front of your other colleagues, you do not say other. That is the most idiotic thing I've ever heard. Are you dumb? I'm so lucky. I'm so surprised that HR wasn't called on you.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, surprisingly.
Damn.
So the reason this story is funny is because the overall result is not the asshole. And people
actually agreed.
And all the twins in the comments are like, I'm so glad that people are finally speaking up about this. As a twin myself, like, I'm really struggling with dumbass names that my parents gave me, and I wish people were called out. Like, is it like a dickhead move? Yeah, but you're not like an asshole for pointing it out, because I think people should just do that.
I don't think you're an asshole for pointing it out if you are in the position for it to be pointed out. You get me? As I said, you're a close friend, you're this, you're that, or it's a private moment between two of you.
Would you tell your close friend? I feel like I wouldn't.
Absolutely.
I wouldn't.
Like, if one of my boys was to have a kid and they named them some stupid name like Brick, I'd be like, you're dumb, and your kid is gonna be as dumb as a brick. All right. So no, honestly, I would tell people straight away, being like, hey, your naming choice, not a good naming choice.
Okay.
Especially, and also, even if it was someone I didn't know that well, like, and they asked me, what do you think of my kids' names? And I'd be like, honest question, or you're just trolling me, you know? And then like, they'd be like,
is this a troll IRL?
You know, like, and stuff like that. But once again, I don't know, like, in this day and age, people are really coming up with dumb names. Like, you know, they're really naming their kids dumb names. I think, like, everyone's trying to be so different. Like, you know, in our generation, they're all trying to be so different that they're like, you know what? I'm just going to give my kid this stupid name so I can stand out because I'm the mother or father or whatever of this stupid name kid.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I feel like it definitely wasn't the time or place to do it. Like, just thinking in an office space and it's just someone that, like, if you don't even interact with them or a friend, like, first of all, it doesn't affect you. It really doesn't affect you. And, like, you're not part of the kids' lives. You're not going to be calling them Sean and Sean.
Yeah, like, I understand, like, you're looking out for the kids. Technically is what he's saying, that, like, hey, that's a stupid name for the kids. But at the same time, it's not your place. Sorry, you're not.
Yeah.
It's not her place. Like,
I just feel like because it's a she, it's more acceptable. If it was a guy, I'd be like, it's not your place.
Oh my God, if it was a guy, I feel like that would have definitely been hell or high water. They're like, who are you? Who are you? Who do you think you are?
Who do you think you are? And the thing is, the comments would have probably been the same. Like, who do you think you are? Saying, this is a male.
I would have never risked that in my life. Me, I would have been like, great name. You know, realistically, I wouldn't have actually answered. I would have just stood there blank face. But, like, if they looked at me, you know, to be like, your reaction, I then be like, oh yeah, great name, like so unique.
I like that the other Sean is with E.
Yeah. So like, I'd be like, like phonetically pronounce it for me. You know, yeah.
I'm weak. Oh my god. No, I don't know. I was so surprised by the overall result of the thread.
Not
like
the asshole.
Not the asshole.
People already are really cave dwellers. Not gonna lie.
Literally, and a lot of them that I saw were twins saying like, I'm so sick of this shit.
Yeah.
Essentially,
So the only ones that were asshole that said it was asshole were twins, and then everyone else was like, not the asshole.
No, the twins said not the asshole because they were twins with dumb names, and they're like, we're so sick of this faith that we have to be stuck with like Hansel and Gretel names.
So would they not say that he? Oh, sorry. Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry, my brain was flabbergasted for a second. Yeah, my brain was flabbergasted for a second.
Okay. We have another "Am I the asshole" here. Okay.
Nice.
So my M30 brother-in-law, which is M20, Sean. With his name Sean again.
Is everywhere.
Moved in with me and his sister after my father-in-law passed away a few months ago. He's a private type and keeps to himself. He goes out but never says where he's going or how long he'll be out. Eats at random times during the day, wears earpods. What's an earpod? I'm sorry.
Earbuds.
Yeah, while me and the kids are sitting with him. See, all of these are uncool behaviors and a bad influence on my children. I've already talked to Sean about certain house rules I have and how he was violating them. Maybe because he didn't know.
Yeah.
But now he knows, and still nothing's changed. Last night he came home late, around 10 p.m. I wasn't thrilled with that because he knew the rules, but he said that he was an adult and I shouldn't be policing him, but it's not about that. It's about the fact that he's repeatedly disrespected the homeowner and the rules. So I told him this. If you won't respect the rules, which are being home at 8, not eating at random times, and not using his electronics, just like my kids aren't allowed to when families gather to spend time together. He ranted about how he wasn't a child, my child, and called me unreasonable to treat him this way just because he lives under my roof. I told him it's not hard to show respect really, but my wife went off asking what was wrong with me to be giving Sean, who's still grieving, ultimatums and treating him like a child.
Alright, so this story is actually really interesting for me because I actually read that story and I was absolutely torn because it's the what's it called? It's the clash I always have of the Nigerian culture in me and the West, growing up in the West and stuff like that, right? So from the Western point of view, he is the asshole because realistically, Sean's an adult. Sean's not your kid. What you should do is be like, hey kids, you guys don't have to do Sean doesn't have to do what you guys are doing because Sean is a grown-ass man. Yeah. So don't be thinking you can do what Sean's doing because you're a kid, he's an adult, right? And he's not even my kid. So it's not even the fact that I can tell him what to do. He's not my kid. Yeah. Right? So it's one of those situations. And it's it should leave it like that. But then the Nigerian culture in me.
Wait, hang on before we move on because I have some questions for you. So Westerner type mentality, right? Yeah. You have this kid living with you, whatever. Do you treat him differently if he's paying rent or not paying rent at the age of 20, or does that matter?
Because he's doing it for his wife. He's doing it as a favor for his wife. So you can't treat him differently because he's not paying rent. Because you're doing it as a favor for your wife. It's essentially letting your her whatever, I can't even think different scenarios essentially anyway, but he's doing it for his wife, so obviously you're treating it differently then. And obviously if they're paying rent, essentially you're treating them the way of some random guest is living in your house. Yeah, you know,
Airbnb your other room.
Your other room. Obviously you can't police them, you know. But you have to kind of treat him like that as well because he's an adult, he's your wife's sibling, you know, and stuff like that, so it makes sense, right? And he's 20 years old. Yeah. You know, once again, as I said, then the Nigerian me is my house, my rules. Really? You know, my father would be crawling in his skin. Okay. If that was him, being you disrespectful son of a bitch.
Okay. But would your Nigerian dad reinforce an 8 p.m. curfew for a 20-year-old? Because when you were 20, when Boston was 20, I feel that wasn't the case.
Yeah, like once again, like the curfew thing is like
Is
to
it a
each
bit
their
extreme?
own.
Like, is it a bit extreme?
It's to each their own. Like maybe to them, or it could be the situation. Like maybe the reason he says a curfew is because maybe he's in bed or chilling around that time, and like Sean coming in anytime he wants, like it makes noise and disturbs the kids, whatever excuse he has or he wants for the scenario. Like it's his house, his rules, essentially. As far as I see it, like yes, it's like a bit extreme, like a bit extra. Like 8 p.m. you have to be in the house. It's a bit much. But
also,
at the end of the day, it's his
the
choice.
same story with in your home, right? You and like also when he was older, you were able to do more things than your younger brother was. So like, is it fair to reinforce the same rules for 4-year-olds and a 20-year-old?
Obviously, like you reduce it a bit, but once again, like we don't know what the 8 p.m. curfew is for. Like we just know it's like it's something that he wants, right?
Yeah.
And that's why the Nigerian me is like, no matter whatever the reason it is, you have to, like, if my dad, like right now I'm chilling at home, right? If my dad is like to me, yeah, Farouk, you have to be in the house by 12, I'm gonna be in the house by 12.
Yeah.
Like I'm 24 years old. I'm 20. Let me say that I'm 24 years old. I'm gonna be in the house by 12.
Yeah.
Like I'm not. It's not my house. Like it's his house.
Yeah.
Follow his rules. And it's not like for whatever reason he wants that, I would do that. Obviously that's not the case.
But the thing is, I feel like
own.
your dad is a reasonable man. Like he's going to the reason there will be a reason as like be home by this time for whatever. And the same with my parents. Like my mom would be like be home by this time because XYZ. Because 24 years old, like, and when I was 15, 16, I had to be home by a certain time. No reason needed. Of course, no reason needed. You're a young kid, but I think he's 20 years old. And what do you think of the eating times? Like,
the eating thing is kind of weird. Like, especially in my house, like, because like in my house, like we don't even have to eat together. We just eat when like the food's in the fridge. You guys put it in the thing and make it heat up when you want, right? Mm-hmm. Like I'd say in your house, you guys are a little bit more like you guys eat together. So, but even at that, your mom doesn't force you. Well, you used to.
I cook my own.
Exactly.
Back in the day.
Yeah, like but like it's not as much. But yeah, the eating thing, like I guess that one. I feel like that one's so forced, right? I can make some kind of as I just did. I can make some bullshit justification for the 8 p.m. thing, right? Yeah. But the eating, like as a family or whatever, eating like everyone eats together. It like the only reason I could see that is maybe it's like, oh, my wife cooks meal at a certain time, so instead of making her have to cook an extra time.
I don't think so.
But the thing is, I don't believe his wife is cooking for the kid. I think he's doing it himself, right?
Come on, this literally sounds like he's just picking out food when he's hungry.
Yeah, whatever. But once again, like even if my dad was like only at when we're all eating you eat, then I would follow that rule. Like as I said, like that's just Nigerian culture. You have to respect the person, the man of the house, whatever like so you have to respect the adults in the house. But like in reality, a lot of that crap that your man's saying is it's a lot of bullshit. Like,
it is like I feel like he's kind of taking it out on him for some reason, and I'm like, why are you treating him like a child? Like it's weird.
I guess because there's such a big age difference, I think he's taking him on as like his own kid, and he's like, if my kids have to follow it and you're now my kid, you have to follow the rules.
But they're like 5 years old.
But it's really never that deep.
I don't know, because then also like it's giving this vibe that like okay, the eating thing, right? I can get behind like wife cooks dinner. It's nice if I prefer if we all sit dinner to reinforce like the kids are used to this. But if it's like lunchtime or breakfast and he's just not hungry, you're just gonna be like, yeah, you're not eating till next time we're eating. Like that's it's just weird.
It's like, no food for you skipped lunch while you're eating air until dinner.
And what happens if like the wife is at work and not in the house eating lunch? Like she doesn't come home to eat lunch at home. So what if he just leaves the house and eats whenever he's hungry?
Yeah, no.
Like it's a bit unreasonable.
Yeah, no, it's very unreasonable. Honestly, that story is
extreme,
bonkers.
It is, isn't it? But I respect the both perspectives into this because there's two sides to every story.
Indeed.
Here we go on to the next story. Another Am I the Asshole? Okay. Here's some context that this person is giving us. Context. Context. I'm sorry. Some context. Okay. I, male 36, I'm the breadwinner. My wife is a stay-at-home mom. We have 3 kids, so the house is a little too messy too often. My wife does her best to keep up with the cleaning and keeping the house tidy, and I feel for her. I really do. So I told her she doesn't have to clean up all the time since the kids are running up and down all day and making huge messes. I did tell her that she only has to make sure the house is clean when we have guests over, and she agreed with me. Well, the other day, I brought over some friends from work, and when I opened the door, all I could see was an utter mess. Food and toys and clutter everywhere. I was shocked. I was embarrassed, and just mortified that my friends saw my home looking like this. Also, I have a couple of guys who came over for the first time, so the first impression must have been horrible to them. I took the guests into the least messy part of the house, and my friends kept giving me weird looks and making indirect comments about the state of the home. I was livid. Waited till they left and went into the bedroom to see that my wife was actually sleeping. I woke her up to ask why she didn't tidy up the house, knowing I was going to bring friends over. She said that she didn't know, but I sent her a text letting her know, and she said that she didn't see it. I told her it seemed like she did see the text, but decided to just ignore it. She said no, but she wasn't feeling well and had a headache, so she thought of getting an hour-long nap. I told her that it was so embarrassing that the house looked like this when my friends came over, and that this was avoidable had she cleaned up and prepared the house for the guests. She argued that first of all, the kids are the ones causing this mess, and second of all, it was my fault for not checking twice with her, making sure the house was ready for the guests. I thought that this was ridiculous because she was basically blaming me for her own actions, which I didn't appreciate so much. I told her that it was embarrassing, and yes, she gets part of the blame for the house looking like a complete mess and being out of control like that. She called me a jerk and walked out of the room and avoided speaking to me about it, insisting that I'm the one at fault in this situation.
Leave that man know. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Really?
Bro, that is wild. That is, for anyone watching the video, you saw my reactions, bro. Oh my God, I was making faces the whole time. That shit is wild. No. Okay, there's so much to unpack here.
Okay.
So much to unpack here. All right. One, I don't know where this is from, like, or what culture they have, but like the fact that they're just like, he's like, you're the cleaner of the house. You clean the house.
And the mom and the cook
you do all this, you do all that. Mad. Like carry some weight, do some stuff in the house. And then obviously like different cultures, in different cultures, it's like the guy doesn't do any of that. Like, so like obviously, but we're looking at it from our perspective here. I would not be down for that. I'd be like, yo, like equal things, I clean, you clean kind of
I
thing.
hated how he said it's okay for the house to be messy sometimes. Like, I'm sorry, can you not just help?
Yeah, it can be messy sometimes, but when I have people over, you better clean it or I'll beat you.
Oh.
So
that's the vibe I'm getting.
That's the vibe,
Yeah.
like literally like the fact, like, one, right, he only sent a text that he was bringing people over, so she did not know like well in beforehand. She only knew like whenever
on the
right?
day probably.
And she said she had a headache and she was sleeping, so it's possible that she actually didn't even see the text because she was asleep, right? And then they came over and so on and so forth. Or even if let's say she had a headache and she was like, oh damn, all right, let me lay down for a bit because my head is busting, and then ends up having a nap, and because she didn't think they would come that quickly, and then she clean, right, or whatever. No matter whatever it is, she did not have accurate time or whatever the story was, and then you're giving her absolute shit, like being like, how dare you not clean the house? How dare you not? How dare you? My guests have to come into a filthy household.
And
maybe
judge me.
What you should have done is before, if you really care that much about your image to uphold, you should be like, hey guys, come over later in like an hour to my house, so you then quickly drive home because you see that she hasn't responded yet. And then if she's already cleaning, you're like, oh, cheers, I was actually going to come to quickly clean in case you didn't see it. Or if she is sleeping as she was, you'd have cleaned it quickly, and then your guests would have came over, they would have left, blah, blah, blah.
Or a different day. Even.
So much different options here.
Do you know what I think? You see the way he was saying, oh, I don't expect the house to be clean all the time unless people are coming over, like guests are coming over. It sounds to me that guests do come over quite frequently. With the way he's kind of saying like, oh, on these occasions, and the way he just kind of pulled people up, it makes me think this is not the first time that the wife was being asked to just clean because he's just bringing people up all of a sudden.
Yeah, but it's definitely the first time people saw her or whatever.
Yeah.
Because he's fuming, like. But also, like, I the people who came over and like were making little comments about you guys are snakes.
Yeah, yeah.
We all know when you enter a dirty household, we all know it's dirty. We all see it's dirty. But the idea is you shut your fucking mouth and you just pretend like it's not dirty. And you move past it, and then later on when you're all leaving the house, you're like, damn, Mike's house was dirty as hell, bro.
Yeah, never coming back here again.
Never come back in. Damn, it was dirty. But you don't say it at the time or make little snarky remarks and be looking like, oh. You be an adult and you're like, damn, this is dirty. But in your head, and then you'd be like, damn, I can't believe Mike is this dirty. Then you move on with your life.
Yeah, I agree. I think, the way he's just so demanding of his wife and stuff. Like, I'm sorry, maybe she has COVID. Like, it doesn't account for the fact that she could be feeling unwell. At all. It's just like when I need it done, it needs to be done.
Like when I clap my hands, you better be here doing this, doing that, like, nah, it's wild. Wow. The modern 2022 women would never take that. Nah. Get yourself a king, queen. It's not that deep.
Ladies, if you're out there wondering what to do, you leave.
Leave them.
Pack your bags,
Pack your bags, allow it. Run away.
That's upsetting, to be fair. So this next one, it's not safe for work, okay, just so y'all know. It's from Off My Chest. And this guy is saying the following. I'm done having sex with my girlfriend. Gasp. Okay. We have sex 1 to 3 times a day, every day. Obviously some exceptions. And I have always been on the more wild side while she's more vanilla, if you will. Well, I have been working on changing that for a while, taking my time and trying to talk it out. It's been 6 months and there's zero progress. She always says that next time, but every time I try something new, I get rejected. I'm not talking about anything crazy, literally just initiating the act of changing positions, I get stopped. We do it strictly missionary only, all the time, every time. Normally I don't say anything until after we're done, so no one gets frustrated, and I kill the mood, even though it kind of does a little bit for me. But today we are on a trip in a nice hotel, and we're getting in, and I pull her over to the edge and try to do her with me standing up. This guy describing it is
terrible.
Yes. Okay. I get stopped, only this time I'm like, why? It doesn't make sense. And she just says, I'm going to have to make an effort with my legs. So basically, she summed it up for me, I think. She has no interest in doing anything but take it. I'm not a robot.
Oh my God, this is funny.
Took a little turn at the end, didn't it?
It did take a little.
No, it took a little turn.
My brain was actually going in a different direction up until the very end, like right there. Like, so essentially, what was it called? She's essentially pillow princess. That's what they say.
Oh, yeah, that's a term.
Yeah, that's the term when like
pillow princesses.
Pillow princess was like when you don't want to do any effort, anything that's exhausting or takes energy, so you just lay there and just take it. That's what pillow princess is.
Okay.
That's the term. But yeah, no. So yeah, at first I was like, oh, bro, like maybe she's just not comfortable with this, not comfortable with that, But then he was like, changing positions. Maybe she's just like not into mood, whatever it is. Like in the end of the day, you have to make sure your partner's comfortable.
Yeah, I think let's have a look at it up until before she said that, right? Yeah. How are we feeling about him?
Yeah, like I was like, I feel like he's forcing this. Like what matters the most is that like obviously you want to be happy, like like in your relationship, both like every emotionally, sexually, everything, right? But at the same time, like it's one of those things that like I felt like he was getting mad. Like, to be fair to him, he did try. He said 6 months and he was very considerate in the sense that like he'd never say during and say after, so on and so forth, which is like, yeah,
6 months is quite some time, like you said. Like it's
exactly, it's enough to try. And like and as you said, he wasn't doing anything wild, like or whatever, obviously. But then I also took that with a grain of salt because whoever knows. But in the end of the day, she said she didn't want to anyway, and it's like you have to take it as it is. And then I was like, in that scenario, you either just stay or you leave, right? And then but the moment like the end happened and he's like, oh, that's effort I have to do. I'm like, bro, leave this girl. She's not worth your time at all. She is just chilling there. She wants to put in no effort. She's not willing to reciprocate. She's not willing to communicate and let you know that I am lazy piece of shit that just wants to lay there and do nothing. I'm just gonna do whatever. Like it'd be a different story if she was like, it was like one of those things like she literally could not, like, let's say she
She's
was so
uncomfortable.
unhealthy, so uncomfortable, whatever it may be, whatever numerous reasons it is.
Like they just started dating.
Yeah, you know, but it was just like, I literally just don't want to put in effort. And then
the fact that she said that with her chest, she's
her
like,
chest.
no, because then I have to do stuff.
No, because then
Excuse me, Emily. I don't know, because like I feel like for the the first half of the story, I was like, oh my god, like he's such an asshole, like just making her do stuff, blah, blah, blah. And she said that, I'm like, oh, pause.
No, pause.
Take a second. I feel like in the 6 months thing, like it's long enough to know if you're like sexually compatible or not, because clearly at month 0 you've identified there's a problem, let me communicate it, and he has. After 6 months, nothing's changed. You just have to look out after yourself and leave.
Exactly. No.
Because this isn't fair.
You're taking the W here, bro. I got your back.
I got your back. Okay, so here's another Am I the Asshole? And this just kind of happened over Christmas, so I have it saved. Okay, here we go. I have a bit of a complicated relationship with my husband's family.
That's a sticky
It's
one
already,
still.
yeah, it's already starting off.
It's always the family ones that are the stickiest situations.
Okay. Mother-in-law claims that she likes me, but I don't think she does. She also claims she loves and adores her grandchildren, but will do pretty much anything to avoid spending time with them. As a result, the relationship is pretty strained, and we only see her for holidays and occasional family dinners. I don't really like doing holidays at mother-in-law's house because it's so formal. Everyone dresses super nice, hair and makeup is perfect. Mother-in-law pretty much lives for this stuff. Despite the annoying dress code, my husband gets to see his siblings, my kids get to see their cousins, and mother-in-law mostly ignores us anyway. This year is our year to spend Christmas with the in-laws, and I've been getting annoyed about the clothing aspect for months. It just seems so silly to me and almost like a weird competition between the women in the family. I broached the topic to my mother-in-law and she said holidays are supposed to be special and my generation is so lazy. That annoyed me, so I talked to some of the younger women who also have small kids. One sister-in-law said I was ruining Christmas, one kind of agreed but said it wasn't worth the fight with her mom. Mother-in-law called me recently and demanded to know why I was talking behind her back to her guests. I explained I was just trying to see how people felt about it because to me, the formal attire is just another layer of stress and it is spiraling into some sad beauty pageant. Mother-in-law said it was tacky of me to ask around and I need to stop trying to change their family and I'm so rude and entitled for thinking I get to make changes when I just married in. This pissed me off and I said she can wear whatever, but I will be coming in sweats and my kids will be in play clothes. Mother-in-law actually laughed and said that that would be my problem, not hers. My husband says if I do it, I will embarrass him. Though I'm seriously thinking of doing it, and mother-in-law is still pissy that I talked to her guests behind her back.
There's so much to unpack there. To be honest, I'm gonna say right now, both of them are the issue. Okay, both of them are the issue, but this is a sticky one still, right? In this situation of one, there's a lot of issues here. One, the fact that she has, like, I get the whole maybe have a problem with it or whatever, but let me just say one thing right now. No one's, just because everyone else is dressing up doesn't mean you have to dress up.
Yeah.
You don't have to dress up. You don't have to dress your kids up. You can go in sweats if you want. Like, obviously you feel a bit bad or whatever. It's not your problem at the end of the day.
Like if you're uncomfortable, then you should dress up.
You know, like the whole idea is like they're the ones that would judge you, but who gives a shit? You know, kind of thing.
Yeah.
As in, like, and it's not like they set a rule that everyone has to dress up. It's like they choose to dress up. You don't have to.
But the way she said that, it's like so formal in a beauty pageant. But like, it never said that, they had to.
Yeah, like it never said the mother-in-law said, hey, everyone, make sure you only wear your best clothing. Please and thank you.
Yeah, sure. At the end, wasn't she like, it's your problem, not mine?
Not mine, exactly.
Yeah.
You know, like, obviously she said in a condescending way, but like, it's still the same message in the end of the day, right? And then two, the whole, then confronting her for something that was optional is kind of weird. One, but then two, when she confronted the other people, I don't really mind that. It's kind of like, but like even that. But my problem is that other two girls, you absolute snakes. You told your mom what she was asking behind your back. You are absolute snakes. You should have. You knew that would cause wala, and you still said it anyway. Like absolute snakes. Those. sister-in-laws not to be trusted.
That's a good point,
Not to be
actually.
trusted.
I didn't think of
Absolute
that.
snakes. They should have kept it to themselves, right? But even despite the fact that they kept it to themselves, they didn't keep it to themselves. What the mother-in-law should have done was just not talk about it. But she was petty and brought it up, right?
But I think,
but
like,
she has the right to bring it
yeah,
up,
because she
obviously.
brought it up first.
Yeah,
so
you know,
as a response, I'd be like, well, fucking go back to your room. Why are you talking about me behind my back?
You know, stuff like that. I fully understand. And then you have the whole scenario of like, dude, the husband is also plebby in the sense that he's like, oh, you're embarrassing me. You'd be like,
but it is embarrassing.
It is, but like he's like, you're embarrassing yourself because you're not embarrassing me. It's you.
I don't know. I would feel kind of off. Like if everyone in my house, yeah, we're having Christmas and everyone's like super dressed up or whatever, and you show up in like your Crocs and your sweats,
obviously.
I'd be so upset. But
Yeah.
it would be embarrassing me.
Yeah, obviously. I know, but at the same time, like, this is just such a dumb situation. Everyone sucks here. This is a situation where everyone sucks here. Also, those sisters as well. They suck too. Snakes. But, yeah, no, it's
I
so
think
stupid.
I think she's the asshole. I feel like she created... First of all, she started this whole drama.
Oh, yeah, she did. She absolutely
started
this
the
whole
whole drama.
thing.
And second of all, I'm sorry, but, like, it's Christmas. I don't think there's that much of an issue to put on jeans and a nice top instead of sweats and a messy bun. Because I get the impression that this girl, like all year round, she gets to do that anyway. And it's not like when she's out and about, she's wearing sweats and a messy bun and stuff. She's doing it on purpose for Christmas because she doesn't like that it's a rule, or like maybe she feels insecure because everyone else is better dressed than her.
Possibly.
It's
she
whatever.
Doesn't want that constant comparison and stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I don't think the others are even deeping it. I think the others are like, this is enjoyable to
it's
dress
not like
up.
they're ranking each other. But some families are like that. But even if they were, why the fuck do you care? Do what makes you happy. I
don't know. I think regardless, I feel like it's not a big ask to just put on something not even pretty, because jeans with a nice top is really basic.
Just leaving your house attire.
Literally going to the shop.
You know, like if you want, you can wear athleisure and anything. You know, you look good and you're comfy.
Exactly.
Yeah, I know. I think she's forcing this on.
She's really forcing this. So I do think she's the asshole from that aspect. But the others do suck as well for the way they handle it. I just feel like they're not really assholes.
Oh yeah, no, I don't think they're as bad off as the woman in question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's a bit of a dickhead, isn't she?
Yeah.
So the final story of today's podcast. We have another "Am I the Asshole" story. Okay.
We're going through these like butter.
Yeah, aren't we? Okay, so here we go. We have, I'm not sure what the person in question is, but I'm just going to start reading it. 2 weeks ago, my son, Ethan, 27, and his wife, Jess, 30, bought a small one-story house in the town that we live in. After settling down, they invited us for a small party for the occasion. We sat for dinner and talked about the house a bit. Me and my husband and Jess continued conversating after Ethan excused himself to take an important call. Jess showed me the original key to the house, and I asked if she made copies yet, and she said no. I said she should, and also give me one copy as well. She looked at me funny and asked why she should. I explained that it is necessary so that it could be used in emergencies. She rudely said, I don't know what kind of emergency that would require you having a key to our house. Sure, wouldn't that be a fire incident? She obviously didn't seem to have any idea that a fire incident wasn't what I meant, and I got offended by her sarcasm. I pointed out that it's not just her decision, because this is my son's house as well. She smiled at me, trying to be polite, and stated that only the ones who contributed towards the house get a copy, and that I really don't need one anyway. Also, assured me that my son will have the same answer for me, basically saying, don't bother bringing this up to Ethan, he'll tell you the same thing. But I did. And she spoke on his behalf, and the entire argument repeating what she said over and over. Things escalated to her calling me pushy and telling her she was being unnecessarily rude and disrespectful. My husband and I left in a rush, and I felt horrible. My husband went on and on about how paranoid and controlling I was to basically be demanding a copy of the key to the new house. But again, I stated that I was just trying to be helpful and taking extra precautions since anything could happen. But he insisted I overstepped and ruined Ethan's and Jess's joy for their new house, as well as dinner.
I'm on the other husband's side here. She definitely did overstep. But, like, she could have asked in a nicer way. As in, like, she could have been like, oh, have you ever thought about possibly sharing an extra key just in case, like, worst case scenario, something happens? You know, like, I don't know, like, let's say there's something going on, you guys are gone, you have a kid, like they don't have kids right now, like, but you need us to rush to the house, to do something because they're in the same town. Okay, like that scenario isn't really that common, but obviously like it could happen, like where there's something that you are both out of the house, there is something in the house that needs to be instantly done, like
taking the pot off the pan,
yeah, or like something like the house, like, and you guys are in proximity, please go do this for us. Okay, but you that's what you should portray it as in like, hey, have you thought about this possibility? And if they're like, oh no, it's like, oh, that's fine, if you want to let me know, otherwise it's fine, it's not that big of a deal. That's how you should approach the situation. But being like, my son's house, you must give me a key so I can come in and help you when you need. No, please stop. That's not how it works. That's not how life works. And she was so pushy about it, and oh my god, you see, but to be honest, I get the wife was mad, she had every reason to be, but this is your mother-in-law, like, you should have taken easy with her, like,
but what like, was she that rude though? I
feel like it, like, at first she was nice and then she was rude because she kept persisting. But like me personally, I'd just be like,
I just played off. I'd be like, ask Ferg.
Yeah, exactly. I'd be like, if that was like
we'll
your
talk
mom
about
to me,
it.
I'd
Yeah.
be like, oh yeah, let's talk about it, Nicola. Like I don't know what she wants to do. She was one like organizing the keys. I'd bullshit through my teeth.
Same.
I just keep like smiling and nodding up until like I'm like, yo, you dumbass, talk to your mom.
Yeah.
So like, no, I think it is, but I think she's the asshole here. Like the mother-in-law,
yeah, me too.
Isn't definitely the asshole here.
And I think,
I to be honest, fair play to the husband. It took a lot of balls for him to say that, because now she's gonna be mad at you for a long time.
Oh my god, yeah.
Because of that, but you took the hit for your son.
She'll probably show up a lot unannounced in the house as well, being like, oh, since I don't have the extra key.
Yeah, she's definitely very controlling, very controlling.
So I think not even the nice approach that you suggested. I just don't think anyone should ever ask for anyone's house key at all. I think if it's given to you, and like we choose that our parents-in-law should have one, that's our choice, and we're like, hey, here's a key in case anything happens. But I don't think anyone should ever suggest that I give them a key.
I get where you're coming from, but at the same time, I think sometimes, like, if the person just didn't even think about it, and then you kind of approach it nicely, like I said, they're like, oh my god, I actually never deep that, and actually, you know what, I do want to give you a key.
But like, I wouldn't even think that anyone needs a key.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But like, obviously, like, it's a different scenario. But yeah, no, I think that's a sticky one. Like, I think it depends on the scenario or whatever. But honestly, that she's an asshole anyway, regardless.
I think so too. And like you said, like, just speaking up like that to your mother-in-law is a bit like.
Yeah, no. Honestly, I think the wife was a little bit off center. Like, obviously, I know, like, people would be like, "What the hell?" No, she was like being rude. Yes. I come from Nigeria, so, but not like like, when it comes to adults, you just smile and nod.
Especially not just adults, but these are people that your family.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
This is family.
Just smile and nod, and then sort it slowly. Slowly, like, be smart about it.
Yeah, it's like you said. Like, I talked to Ferg about it. he was doing all the keys and stuff.
Yeah, like, you can chat shit behind her back afterwards, but like, don't do it in front of their face.
Yeah, no, 100%. But I
don't do that, by the way. Just in case.
No, absolutely not.
Absolutely, God, no.
No. No. Yeah, she's the asshole in my opinion as well.
No.
I think she is the asshole. Old hag.
Damn, bare assholes today, honestly.
Yeah, lots of them on the show.
Lots of them. Tell us what you think in the comments, or on Twitter, Instagram, whatever you want, like, to reach out to us. Let us know what you think about the stories, like what your input was, and let us know, and we'll be able to discuss them like grown adults as we are.
I might get a little bit feisty and not agree with anything. Just be like,
but that's what we can agree to disagree. That's the beauty about being adults.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that was it. That was
it.
the last story of the day. Until next time, right?
Yeah.
Well, there'll be more stories. Let us know, which ones did you prefer? Too Afraid to Ask, relationship advice?
You can go on Reddit yourself and maybe be like, hey, I'd love if you went to this subreddit and talked about it, So
that's a new one.
As you said, like, let us know. And obviously the podcast isn't just a Reddit thing. We do lots of other stuff. It was just something that we're like, hey, we did a good few of the Reddit stories. Let's do them in video format. Obviously, like, if you listen to audio, it's audio. But, we just said, let's put a little sprinkle out there,
Exactly.
All right.
So that
Take
is
care.
all. We'll see you guys next time. Wait.
Enjoy.
That's not our outro.
It doesn't matter.
No, let's have our outro.
You don't need an outro. It's never that deep.
That was it for today, guys.
Yo.
So, till next
All right,
time.
take care.
Peace.